Hey, hi, hello to my girls, gays, and days. How's it going? It's your boy Nate. I read books because reading is sexy, and if you're not reading, you're not sexy. It is the first real day of fall, and I was just in the mood. Let's get honest. I have a few questions here from the audience. Thank you. So let's answer a few, shall we? Have you ever lied about reading a book? Yes and no. I did it mostly to impress a girl who I did end up later dating. So a little white lie can go pretty far, but it was Albert Camus and also Hemingway. I had not read either. Really wanted to talk to this girl more as she was a lit major. And yeah, we hit it off pretty well with my great lie. Yeah, it was a simple lie, really. Had I read Camus? No. Had I heard the name? Yes. And it wasn't until, I think, after we broke up that I actually did read his diaries. So I haven't read much Camus. And I read The Stranger, but only in SparkNotes, so I didn't really read that. Awful student in high school. Hated high school. But with Hemingway, yeah, it wasn't until I broke up with her that I read A Movable Feast. I'm trying to remember if I have done any fiction by Hemingway. I haven't. So, two great writers who wrote fiction, I did not read any of their fiction yet. I've yet to read any fictional Camus in full, unless you count the SparkNote version of The Stranger. And yeah, I have yet to do any fiction by Hemingway, so we gotta change that eventually. Number 2, have you ever avoided a book because of controversy around the content or author? I mean, I'll never read anything by L. Ron Hubbard, you know, the father of Scientology. Sci-fi, not my jam. I don't know, those ideologies I just don't. But I hear the sci-fi books are great, so I don't know, maybe? But I've held off for a really long time, and I plan to keep it that way. Same with Colleen Hoover. I feel like I will eventually do it, just for shits and giggles, to be honest. I don't know if I'll ever get to their work. I try to read everything and not be too judgmental and judge everything by content, theme, and its achievement within itself, in the work itself. Will I ever get to reading It Ends With Us? Who knows? Who knows? But I think that might be my one and done Colleen Hoover. If I'm to read one thing by her, I think that's it. Unless we got Colleen Hoover stands in the chat, let me know, chat, what Colleen Hoover do I read? Number 3, have you ever been sent a book for free and not disclosed it? Yes, I have. I don't remember. Y'all gonna have to check and I just looked not too long ago, but I think I have 200 videos up, which is kind of crazy to me. I definitely want to go back and delete all of those videos. A part of me is embarrassed by sort of the quality and production of the vlogs and how awkward I am. If you go to the very first vlog, I am so fucking awkward and I just can't stand it. Anyway, where was I going with this? What was the question? Oh yeah, but it was for this book called, I don't even remember, and I'm not going to mention them, but it was just so bad. It was to the point of unreadability. Just content, how it was written. They included laughter in dialogue, and no, never. You know for sure someone didn't go to writing school if they included ha 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 in written form. Also exclamation points. That's how you know. That's how you know. I think that was the only book. Otherwise, 1, I just haven't had the chance to get it because it's at my LA address. 2, yeah, just haven't had it in my hands with the camera, all in the same place. So I think it's only been 1 book so far. Number 4, have you ever bought a book with no intention of reading it? I feel like I'm pretty intentional about what I buy and getting to it. No, I'm not. I think, yes, I do buy it to intentionally read it, unless I've read it before and just want a physical copy of it for my bookshelf. I'm really conscious about the books that I buy because I spent money on it. If I spent money on it, I'm going to read it, unless it becomes a DNF. But I also have bought books just because they had pretty covers. But none of them have been a blind buy. I have to actually look at reviews, and if it fares well enough in terms of 3.5, 4 stars, and the cover's pretty and the plot sounds great, then I'll do it. I'll do it. Take my money. Number 5, have you ever got caught up in booktube drama? No, I really don't have time for drama. I love listening to drama. Send me to brunch and with mimosa and all, and I'll sit there for all the tea. But I just don't have time. I don't have time to be involved in drama. If you have a problem with me, just be upfront about it. I literally don't have time. I have to write, I have to read, I have to watch movies, and then I have to go out dancing, okay? I've got a lot on my plate, all right? And I'm working. I work full time. I don't have time for drama, unfortunately. I'm sorry. If you want to beef with me, okay, have at it. But it'll be one-sided. You'll end up punching yourself. And I'll let you win. You can win. I don't care. I don't have time for it, really. Number 6, have you ever had a hate comment and did you respond? It wasn't necessarily a hate comment, but it was a really poorly constructed argument from a commenter about my reading of Murakami's Novelist as Vocation. I was set up to, have an engaging conversation, but they just kept attacking me on who I was and how poorly I read it, but I had offered examples. I had offered examples to why that book in particular just did not work and how it deviated from the main plot and all of the points that he was trying to make. It's a faulty book. And yeah, they just kept attacking me, myself as a person that had no grounds. And I was just like, this is really unproductive. Like, it just ended up being a very unproductive back and forth that I was just like, I think I'm wasting my time here. So it wasn't really a hate comment, but which is all ironic in a way because I do love Murakami. I love his work. He's written some duds, okay? And yeah, I'm aware of the good stuff and the bad stuff, and I can talk about them in a way that is fully fleshed out. But this commenter couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Number 7, have you ever made a video just because you knew it would get views? I mean, essentially, I feel like that's what the wrap-ups are. I feel like that's selling out. Let me know, people, because I do them as a way to like sort of check in and give info about new releases. Most of the books I talk about in wrap-ups are arcs, so that's the kind of information that I want. If I have a book on my radar, I will immediately go to YouTube, see if there are fully formed thoughts about it from somebody, and yeah, I'll watch the video and stuff, and that's what I want. I want to be creating information that I'm personally seeking out for myself, for others. I think that's just part of being in the booktube community. And also, yeah, because they do perform really well, more so than the vlogs. But the vlogs is where my heart is. But I know I have to do the wrap-ups also just to keep my thoughts in order. And I think I've kind of leaned away from talking about all the books that I read within a month within the vlogs. So it is sort of just a separate place to tally up my thoughts of all the books that I read within the month. And I think it's a great way to sort of like check the progress of my reading as well. But yeah, I hope that the wrap-ups offer insight to new releases or any of the books that I feel like just have like gone under the radar. Yeah, I'm doing so much with my hands right now. I think that's the coffee speaking. The coffee speaking to my hands right now. Number 8, if you could go back to the beginning of your channel, would you do anything differently? I don't know, here's the thing. Because if you do go back to those old videos, I was a poor speaker. I'm still a poor speaker. I'm much better than I was when I first started. So this is your sign. Start booktube now. If you are watching booktube and want to start booktube, just do it now because it's the progression of you speaking in front of a camera that just develops who you are as a speaker. And with that, I think you're able to relay your thoughts a lot better about just everything in general. Not just about books, but about like the day too. And it's good practice, I feel, because in the time during the pandemic, I was talking to nobody. With that, I think I just sort of lost my voice and my natural rhythm of speaking than I did before, pre-pandemic. So all of this is all training. It's constant training. Talking in front of the camera is constant training and it's good training. And my hands are, again, a little too loud. But yes, start booktube now. Number 9, are there any channels you wish you could be more like? I feel like this is such an odd question of like playing comparisons. I mean, I do. Sometimes I'll watch, and just be like, oh God, I wish I was that eloquent of a speaker. Because I'm not. I really am not. It's all in editing that I find that I'm an okay speaker. I'm just a really good editor. But yeah, I wish I was a lot more succinct with my thoughts. You don't see this, but on my end, when I'm editing a video, Sometimes I will have to circle around an idea and it goes on for like 15 minutes until I realize, oh, I went on for 15 minutes about this single theme. And I'm just like, needs to be cut, needs to be cut. Because I was trying to get to this single phrase that is perfect within itself. But yeah, I cut out that 15 minutes. So these sit downs really go on for way too long. And I'm just like, why? Why do I do this to myself? I don't think anyone should be comparing themselves. When you compare yourself, you just like dig yourself into a hole and you're like, well, what's the point? Why am I here? The point is, and why you're here, is because of your own thoughts fully formed around the book. I love when I'm watching a video and you can totally see who this person is. And yeah, it's a personality thing. I love people with personality. Give me personality. Personality, a lost art. Oh look, we're already done here. Number 10. What's something you love about your channel? I don't know. I haven't really thought about this. Just so you know, this is all kind of off the cuff and I hadn't really looked at these questions beforehand. But I think there aren't enough male booktube vloggers out there. Yeah, because I really love a reading vlog. I just love where people sit, where people are reading, how they're reading, what time of day they're reading, where they update from. I just think like, again, like reading is such a solitary act. I want to know what the environment is like because it's such an insular act. I want to know the surroundings of it. Most of the reading occurs in our heads, but I think like the external, the environment in which you read in is also quite fascinating. And I love seeing that. I love when people share that. Yeah, if anyone has any recs on like reading vlogs, because girls are doing good work out there. I love y'all. I love y'all for making reading vlogs. Y'all aesthetic as fuck and I love you for it. But like, homies, where my homies at? Bros, where my bros at? Where y'all at? Now in my head, I'm trying to think. But yeah, there just isn't enough, I feel like. I'm always thirsty for more. That's it, in all honesty. I'll leave these questions downstairs if you want to do the tag. I'm really bad at tagging people. If you're at the end of this, you're tagged. Please do this. Would love to know your honesty around books and booktube. Okay, as always, be well, do good work, keep in touch.